Hey everybody, it's Ecap here, and in this video we have more Retribution Paladin raid testing. This time we have Heroic Nexus Princess. For today, did not get into as solid of a group as I was in the previous day. I think I got to be a little bit more particular when it comes to that. But we did get to see most of the fight, despite not maybe performing very well as a group. So Nexus Princess is actually a unique fight because it is completely single target. And it is actually mostly patchwork for melee as well. There is one mechanic might have to run out, which you'll, I'm sure, see during this pull at some point. So basically, it just starts off normal. You're going to see it's mostly a ranged mechanic, but at least one melee usually kind of gets it, or one melee can get it. And you drop these pools on the outside. Let's pause it a little bit here. So there's these pools. You can clearly see those. Those are the people who are running out and dropping at the on pull. This is a mechanic that you can get as melee, although not very often, or maybe just because of the way our group was set up or whatever. And so you run that out and drop it to the side. Now, the other mechanic is the one that you'll get more often as a melee. But these rifts are going to eventually pull you in, which you'll see. And basically, every time you do get a mechanic, you're going to get a stack of this poison that's not dispellable. And when that poison runs off, it shoots out balls everywhere, void balls, I guess you could say, everywhere. So you'll kind of see all that. There's a lot going on in this fight. This is towards the end of the raid. So those portals disappear, but they'll be back. So this is the thing that you might get. So I have this. Let's go back just a little bit here. So I dropped that off pretty well there. Let's go back through. This is the mechanic you'll get as melee. It's important to run out for this, unless you're already near the side. So you're going to see here shortly. I'm going to get it. There's going to be these purple lines. So you see one pointing directly at me. So whoever has that one, for them, it's going to be glowing red. So somebody over here below me has this mechanic, and it's glowing red for them. They need to run this out so where it's pointing to the right or left. Now, in this group, like I said, it wasn't a very great group. They were just pretty much chugging this through the raid every time, which then, like I said, like every mechanic puts the poison on you. They're basically just putting the poison on everybody all the time. It was pretty terrible. But you're going to see me. I see my red thing, so I come out here to drop it off to the side. So now what that does is two things. One, that beam does not go through the raid. Two, that's where the next group of portals spawn, I believe. I think that might be it. It's something like that. But you do want to make sure you go out there. For that, there you see the balls come out of me there. That's from me having the mechanic. I had the poison, and therefore that. So now we have the next thing of portals. And now you're going to get to see, soon you'll get to see a suction thing happen here. So now these are running out. There we go. Just like I said, so unless you get that mechanic as a melee, we are just kind of patchworking on the boss here. We're dodging these lines. So those lines are very similar to the Sylvanas lines. It's pretty much the same mechanic. So you just dodge those, and when you don't have that mechanic as a melee, you do get to pretty much stand here. This is kind of like the little phase 2. It's kind of a phase 2, phase 1, phase 2, phase 1 fight, where you're going to have Sire Denathrius type mechanics in some ways. I don't know. There might be a better way to explain it. It might be more like a Sylvanas mechanic, actually. But then you also have this blue stuff all over the ground that you can't step in. That's what made me think of Sire Denathrius. So imagine the stuff is red. It made me think of the Sire Denathrius stuff where you can't stand and stuff, plus the swords are going everywhere. That's what it made me think of, but this also has some Sylvanas vibes to it. It's just a dance. That's not very hard. For my group, it was a little bit hard. Again, as a melee especially, you're used to walking back and forth, strafing back and forth or whatever. That's not going to cause too much of an issue for you there. Same thing. Portals come out. Everybody spread them out. Now you're spreading these out because these suck you. We didn't really get to see it in the first phase because people dropped these pretty well, and I didn't really get sucked very much anywhere. So we have these spread out very well, actually, right here. So right now they're actually pulling me. That's why you see me kind of move sporadically there, but not very much because they're nice and spread out like that. And then get the lines. I'm sure. Let's see if anybody's going to drop it right through. Nope. Everybody pulls them out this time. Does a pretty decent job. But then the raid's just kind of, whittling down, dying. More blades. And it's just basically rinse and repeat. And then it's going to be more more portals, a suck, run out your lines, and then another phase 2 where you do the dance in the middle. And so it's not. This is a pretty easy fight for melee. Honestly, it's a pretty easy fight overall, especially on heroic difficulty, right? But it's just about running stuff out, just doing it properly every time. You run one through the group, it's not going to be a good time. It's not necessarily a wipe, at least the way it's 2-none, the beta, but it's probably going to be it's going to be a hard time until you overgear it or whatever. There's, again, you can see the nice red line there. I'm dropping it way out just to be safe, just to be nice there. And yeah, that'll be it for this pull. So yeah, that was Heroic Nexus Princess. I thought this was actually a really fun fight. It was very action packed. Either in it, and of course, let's be honest, I like the fact that I get to just actually single target DPS. I like patchwork fights a little bit. So this was just very much a, hey, we're just gonna tunnel into the boss, run out when you get a mechanic, position correctly, and win. And as long as everybody in your group's doing that, you're just gonna win this fight pretty easily. So pretty quick and easy one here. But yeah, that'll be it for this one. As always, I ask you to subscribe to the channel because that helps me out a lot. If you're already subscribed to the channel, I did recently create a Patreon. You can check that out if you like in the link below. And other than that, everybody, have a good one.